All right, welcome back. Today we are doing the 20-minute no-weight leg destroyer, if you will. And even in these boring talking parts, I have visual stimulation to hopefully keep you entertained. But as always, I have footage of doing the workout myself for your benefit, hopefully, if you don't know the form of these exercises, and also really to prove that I actually did them. So let's get into it. Again, this is body weight, so you can do this anywhere. You can do this in your living room, bedroom, outside, take advantage of a good day like I did, or even in the rain. If you're a sweater like me, the rain is welcome if you're doing this hard work outside. We're gonna go ahead and start with 4 sets, 12 reps, side squat jumps. So again, this is body weight. Where a normal squat would be perfect if we had the added weight, we don't have that right now. That's our goal, is to figure out how do we compensate and still get the benefit without having the extra added weight that we normally would have in a gym, or if you had weight at home while squatting. Well, the standard way to do that is a plyometric power movement. So instead of just normally squatting with no weight, which is still beneficial, but for the advanced guys out there, we know that to compensate, you need to add the power. So you add that extra oomph. Where you don't have weight, you jump. That is the compensation method that you can use. So that's what we're doing here. And we're taking it a step further, adding the side jump to it. Now I love the side squat because where you could just jump straight up and that would be completely beneficial, when you go to the side, not only are you hitting the quad as you would in a normal squat, you go ahead and get the lateral quadriceps involved by going to side, and even the medial quadriceps, the inside of your thigh as well, on the landing. So how it works is when you have that power, you push up, you push out into the side, you're igniting the lateral, the outside side of your quads. But when you land and you take that eccentric force as you come down, you get the medial quadricep, taking all that energy and in turn getting a great burn on both sides. And that's the benefit of the side squat. And not only that, you can, when you add the jump, the plyometric power to it, it is all the more beneficial, all the more difficult. That's how we compensate without weights. Now, if you're advanced, you can go ahead and do this just as I'm showing you. If you're a beginner, you can forget the plyometric power movement and you can just step side to side. So forget the jump, just squat, take a step to the side, squat again, step back, squat again, and so on and so forth. But I encourage you to work up to even just the littlest, just the slightest amount of jump, because you will reap the benefits of the plyometric power. It is such a good way to build muscle while burning fat, especially when we don't have weights, as we're doing a body weight workout here. But it doesn't stop there, because we are not just doing 4 sets of 12 side squat jumps. We are supersetting that with a sprinter lunge, not to mention a jumping sprinter lunge to failure. So all I mean by that is you do your 1 set of 12 side squat jump, and immediately after you finish that set, you go into jumping sprinter lunges, as I'm showing you here. Again, beginners, you can take out the jump here. It doesn't need to be a plyometric power movement. You can just do the normal sprinter lunges, where you just step forward and almost try to touch your toes with your hands. Step back, bring the other leg out, lunge, touch your toes, and continue this alternating motion until you have reached failure. Now, failure is important here because this is how we get some of the most benefit when we don't have any weights. Again, this is all body weight. Even when you have weights, failure is so beneficial. But we had our set amount of reps in the side squat jumps. So now it's important, right when you finish that, you can go into this, which is already hard enough as it is, but since we just did our side squat jumps, this is going to be a lot harder, and you should hit failure quite a bit sooner. And even if you don't, that's the whole benefit of failure, is whatever level you're at, when you hit failure, that's the cap. That's what you want to work towards, because that benefits the most muscle growth. So you hit failure on your jumping sprinter lunges, take 60 seconds. That's 1 set complete, hitting the quads, all sides of the quads, I might add. And you deserve the 60 seconds, I guess, right there. No, seriously, take the 60 seconds, breathe, and then you're going to repeat this whole thing 4 times. That's 4 sets total of both side squat jumps, supersetted with jumping sprinter lunges to failure. There's your quads. So once you get done with the 4 sets there, we move on to the hamstrings, the behind the thigh. We are doing 3 sets, 12 reps, each leg, RDLs. All right, RDLs are absolutely terrible. I personally can't stand them, but they are so beneficial, especially when you have no weights at all. You can't deadlift, you can't do good mornings, you can't do actual hamstring curls. We have no weights, so these are one of the most beneficial body weight workouts. You could just do a standard stiff-legged deadlift with no weight, and after a while that'd be about the same beneficiality, is that a word, as squats with no weights. But to make it even harder, we're doing 1 leg at a time, RDLs. So you do 12 reps on each leg, RDL, 3 sets, right? But again, we're supersetting. So you finish 12 reps on each leg, and you go right into a supine bridge, as you see here. This thing, this can suck. But a lot of the times, especially if you're used to hip thrusters in the gym with a barbell right across your hips, this thing can seem easy. But again, we're supersetting, right? So we're doing this right after we did our RDLs. So we're already a little tired. The muscles are already straining, already contracting. They're feeling it. So you get into the supine bridge, and I encourage you to make the biggest arch you can. You bring your feet closer to your head, and obviously you can't get to the point where you're like that. But the closer you get your feet to your head, the more arch you make, the harder it is. And I encourage you, when you reach failure, you're just straining, and it hurts, and you think this is failure. Go ahead and walk your heels out further from your head in this visual I'm creating, and it will be a little easier. And I encourage you to go till you're almost flat, but you still have just your shoulder blades touching the ground, just your heels touching the ground, the slightest arch, hold that till failure. And once you cannot go any further apart and your back is your bottom and lower back is touching the ground, that's when you've reached failure. So I encourage you to do that. So you have the 12 reps, each leg RDL, followed by a supine bridge to failure. You're gonna repeat this whole thing 3 times, okay? Now, you may think we're done, but the important part of the legs, the part that every bodybuilder, every athlete is always calling people out on, the calves. You have to hit the calves. If you don't hit the calves, you will be made fun of. This is the thing. You can have the biggest arms in the world. What do people go to? Your calves are small. You don't work out calves. You have to hit the calves, whatever. It's very important. So I like to finish pretty much all leg workouts. Even if I'm doing weighted leg workouts in the gym, I finish most leg workouts this way with this calf finisher here. So what you're gonna do, as you can see, is you're gonna go 5 reps calf raises. All right, no weights, but you can, if you have a pair of dumbbells around or a couple milk jugs, something that has weight, you can go ahead and hold that in your hands. You will get more benefit out of it that way. But it's not needed. You're gonna feel the burn on this one. You're gonna go 5 reps, hold in isometric tension at the top of the lift, if you will, where your calves are fully contracted on your tippy toes. You're gonna have trouble with the balance on this one, but you're gonna hold for 5 seconds, all right? Then you're gonna do 10 reps. We're going in increments of 5 here. You're gonna do 10 reps after that, and then you're going to hold for 10 seconds. After that, you guessed it, you're gonna go 15 reps, hold for 15 seconds. And beginners, you can stop there, or if it's too hard, you can stop at the 10 reps, 10 seconds. But advanced people, I encourage you to go all the way to 25, or even further if you're feeling it. I mean, you could do 60 reps, 60 seconds for all I care. I went ahead and stopped at 25 reps, 25 seconds. But you can play with this however you want, increments of 5, you are going to feel it. But we aren't done there, because guess what? I am a huge believer in set-in sets. What is a set-in set, you might ask? But kind of a tongue twister. We are going to end this workout with one final push to set in all the work we've done. That's what I mean by a set-in set. And usually, and just like in this case, we are doing a set in isometric set. So for those of you who don't know, isometric just means you have whatever workout you're doing. Let's say it's a bicep curl. You'd be doing your curl, your contraction, then it's your concentric motion, is coming up, contracting the bicep. Eccentric motion would be coming down, the bicep extends. Isometric, holding in the middle, holding the muscle at peak tension, right? And that's probably the best example. It gets trickier with different muscle groups. But for this, what we're going to be doing is a squat hold isometric motion. So what you're going to do, as you can see here, is get down and squat. I encourage you to go to the 90-degree angle. So make sure your knees are a straight line to your butt. You don't want to go past this line because you will not reap the same benefits as when you are in the exact middle of this contraction. That's what this is here. So you go ahead and sit there for as long as you can take it. This is to failure. So whatever level you're at, you will get the benefits here. Because if you're a beginner, maybe you will hold for just 15 seconds. If you're advanced, you can hold for however many minutes you can hold it for. I encourage you to do that. You hold, you hold, you hold. When you can't hold anymore, we bring in the cheat code. Lean forward a little. Go ahead and touch the ground in front of you. This is terrible form, but it's okay because cheats are okay when you're using them in the right way. We just reached failure. We can't take anymore. If you lean forward, you can move past failure. You can take a little bit more, and you go to failure in this terrible form motion, as you can see here. And once you reach failure officially in this motion, then you can get exactly 3 seconds. You get back up, you go into your hold, you're going to perform a 10-second concentric boosted squat up. So the benefit of this is, obviously you could come right back up and it would still hurt, but we're making you do 10 seconds on the way up. This is the concentric portion of the lift. Like I said with the bicep, concentric is the way up, your muscle contracting. The squat is the same thing on the way up. That's your concentric motion. Your quads are contracting. So the benefit here is if you did this on its own right after this workout, you just did the concentric 10-second up, that would be beneficial enough. And beginners, you can skip the isometric hold if you want and just do that. That would be enough. But the point is, we just did a squat hold. We are exhausted. You went to failure on this, so you get all the more benefit when you go exactly from failure, 3-second rest, you come up, back into it, and you take 10 seconds to go up. Force yourself. It is so painful, but you are going to reap the best benefits from this motion. And you will feel it, I promise you, for the next couple days. In some cases, if you really gave your all, because a lot of this is failure, guys. You got to remember, when you're going to failure, you might think, oh, this is hurting, this is failure. No, push yourself. Failure is when you cannot go anymore, and that is when you reap the best benefits of muscle growth. And that's what we're doing here. You squat and hold to failure. You do a 10-second forced concentric squat up, just one, and that alone, I promise you, will kill you. And that's legs, body weight. This took me 20 minutes. For some of you beginners, you can cut the sets in half if you need to, or maybe take the reps down. Your failure rate might be lower than more advanced people, and it could take 10 minutes. But I encourage you to do this over and over again on your leg day. And eventually, that's the whole point. Everyone fails at different points, but there is always benefit to be had when you are failing intentionally, when you're actually failing. When it starts to hurt, that's not failure. When you can't stay in the supine bridge, when you can't stay in the squat position anymore, when your legs are shaking and you're quivering, that's failure. That's when you drop. That's when you get the most benefit. Not just in legs, but everything else in any workout format. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Subscribe, like for more. Let me know in the comments if this absolutely busted your butt and you can't walk. Let me know if it was too easy, because we can get way more advanced if you need to. But again, this ain't. If this is too easy for you, then you aren't going to real failure. And if you go to real failure and it's still too easy, I don't believe you. So go ahead and subscribe on that note, comment, like, all of the above. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.